Happy Friday afternoon, everybody. This is Anthony Edwards from the University of Washington Dogcast, taking a look at a wild weather day in the Pacific Northwest. Currently, we have an atmospheric river pointed straight toward the Washington-Oregon area, bringing in plenty of clouds and precipitation from the Pacific Ocean. That atmospheric river will start to slide south toward the Oregon border in the overnight hours, but for now, we have plenty of rainfall around the Seattle area. Currently, moderate to heavy rain across the Olympia area toward the coast. But up toward the Seattle area, we are in a little bit of a donut hole here. A rain shadow has built its way up as the rain slams into the Olympic Mountains, precipitates over the mountains, and then comes back down with drying air on the other side. That's how we have a rain shadow here in the Seattle area. Less than 1/10 of an inch of rain since midnight last night, so we are really not seeing much here in the way of precipitation around the metro area. But for those folks north and south, there is plenty of rainfall outside of the Seattle metro area. For the next 24 hours, though, Seattle will get on a little bit of that action tonight of some precipitation in the way of some showers, but nothing like down near the Oregon border. Kelso, up to near 2 inches of rain. Bellingham also will see a little bit more, but like I said, that atmospheric river is sliding south toward Oregon tonight, keeping western Washington out of the target zone into the evening. But for now, we do have a flood watch that has just been extended down toward the Oregon border since I last updated this slide. But flood warnings posted for some local area rivers, and then a flood watch for some urban flooding risks from that heavy rain as well. Wind gusts tonight, things are really ramping up here. Chance for some 50-mile-per-hour gusts plus toward Everett and those folks along the water tonight as a strong surge of westerly winds will make its way down the Strait of Juan de Fuca this evening. That has a storm warning that we'll get to here in a second. But for those folks in Seattle, Tacoma, Olympia, gusts up to 35 miles per hour, maybe hitting the 40-mile-per-hour zone here a couple times later today, but not anything significant in the way of wind warnings for these folks. So that high wind warning is posted for the western Snohomish County area, Whidbey Island. Some folks near Port Townsend too in on that action from a surge of westerly winds down the Strait of Juan de Fuca this evening. But for folks in King County, Snohomish, only a wind advisory up to 45 miles per hour. I do want to stress though that there are plenty of leaves still on the trees. That's earlier in the year, so we might have a few more power outages as normal. If you're expecting just a moderate wind event, you may be right, but those trees are a little bit weaker than they are normally later in the year, so keep an eye out. Maybe you will lose power later this evening. We already do have some scattered power outages at this time. That storm warning is up for the Strait of Juan de Fuca, up to 70-mile-per-hour winds along the water there and right on the western edge of Whidbey Island especially. That might get extended out toward Everett, but maybe more toward the 60-mile-per-hour region as a strong surge of westerly winds comes down after dinner time and will blow the doors off Whidbey Island. So if you're on Whidbey Island tonight, keep a generator handy because you might need it. For the UW football game at 7:30 against Oregon State, gusty winds, chance of a few showers toward the end of the game as a convergence zone may build, but earlier in the game, like I said, we do have that rain shadow going for the area, so just some nimbostratus clouds. Seattle classic, but no rain falling at this time in tailgating. That rain shadow persists throughout the evening. 55 degrees currently in Seattle, 55 in Tacoma, and Quileute, 48, a little bit cooler over there, but we are pretty steady around the western Washington region as we have a warm front that passed us earlier today. But looking into the rest of the weekend, we do have some cooler air building toward the central southern British Columbia area that may help us with a little bit of a chance of lowland snow as we get into Sunday and Monday. So keep an eye out. Looks like a hilltop event at this time for folks above 500 feet, but we could get some sleet mixing in for those folks down at sea level. Stay tuned to the UW Dogcast as we will provide more forecast updates throughout the weekend. Have a good one, everyone.